I'm still not done simping over The Last of Us 2. Specifically, its ending. Now, mind you, I'm not really trying to change anybody's mind with this video. I guess it's more directed at people who already do like The Last of Us. Because I think the people who think it's terrible are going to keep thinking that probably pretty much no matter what. Their minds are made up. But I guess this is really intended to be more of a celebration of why I think it's good for the few people who actually liked it to sort of, discuss it with. I want to specifically discuss its ending. Well, primarily its ending. I do actually want to touch on the fact that The Last of Us spoke to me on a personal level that was weird. I hated Abby and Owen and the wolves, pretty much all of them, except Mel, who's pretty harmless, I think, anyway. On a level that I've never really hated a fictional character before. And at first it was just interesting to me that a fictional game, got that emotional response out of me. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of realized that it was a kind of hatred that was sort of already there in my heart. Sort of a hatred for various problems with the world that I don't always process very well. And it was interesting to me that a video game was able to kind of reveal something about myself that I hadn't really noticed before. And sometimes I wonder if that's why people dislike it so much. It's an uncomfortable game. It forces you to look at parts of yourself you maybe don't want to look at. At least for me, that was the case. But yeah, anyway, the ending specifically, it's interesting that the player's relationship with Joel and Ellie is so visceral, Like, for me, that was such a heartbreaking ending because we got exactly what we wanted. We all wanted Abby dead at the beginning of the game when she killed Joel. But by the end, we realized it wasn't really worth it. We realized it was time to walk away. Ellie had her life. She had a girlfriend and a son, a nice house, and she pretty much gave it all up for revenge. And it's interesting how, as the game progresses, Ellie gets more and more obsessed with this idea of killing Abby. And when she talks to Dina in the kitchen right before she leaves, it's like in her head, she really believes if she just kills Abby, that everything's going to be better. Which, of course, we know that's not going to be the case. Or that wouldn't have been the case if she killed Abby. And it's so disappointing because, as we realize the conflict is not worth it, so does Dina. So Dina is, even though you don't play as her, she's almost more of a voice of the player than Ellie is, because Dina is initially all for helping Ellie get revenge on Abby. But as Ellie goes down this darker path, she obsesses more and more over the idea of killing Abby. She eventually chooses revenge for Joel over aiding Tommy. She chooses to go after killing the person who killed family that's already dead over helping family that's still alive. And I think that's a really telling moment about where Ellie's mindset is. And all this culminates in Ellie choosing to threaten Lev, who had absolutely nothing to do with killing Joel, at knife point, to goad Abby into a fight. And it's just so heartbreaking because we know Ellie is capable of more. We know Ellie can do better than that. It's not like most fiction where in most fictional stories, at that point, Ellie would just be labeled a villain. That would be it. It would be over for her, and she would be the bad guy, and we would be waiting for someone else to come along and take her out in Last of Us Part 3, but it's not that simple, because we as players love Ellie. We know that deep down there is a light in her, and it's so disappointing to see her not tapping into that light when she needs to most to, or at least not tapping into it until it is far too late and she has lost far too much. It feels like watching a real legitimate person that you know, that's part of your actual family, doing something absolutely heinous. You can't really condemn them for it, but you wish to God they had made the right choice. And the fact that you know a part of them was capable of making the right choice before it was, in a sense, too late to do so, it just makes it more agonizing, because they had that conscience, they had that part of them telling them what the right thing to do was, and they ignored it until it was just way too late. So that's why Last of Us 2's ending really spoke to me, and that's why I'm really looking forward to Last of Us 3. Naughty Dog has blown me away with not only Last of Us 1 and 2, but pretty much every game they've made in the past 15 years. Well, I shouldn't say that. Uncharted 3 was just kind of alright. It was good, but anyway, that's not the point. I'm really excited to see in Last of Us 3 Ellie dealing with the consequences of her actions, the consequences of choosing to become this darker person. Not only darker than she was in Last of Us 1, but darker than Joel ever was in Last of Us 1. And I think, I would hope that Last of Us 3 will be about sort of a reverse of what Last of Us 2 was. Last of Us 2 was about Ellie's fall. She was a good person and she became a villain, essentially. And I'm really excited to see, hopefully, her gradually working her way back to being more like her old self. Obviously, she'll never completely be her old self. That version of Ellie is pretty much gone for good. But I'm really excited to see what what Last of Us 3 is going to be like. Hey, I enjoy Neil Druckmann's writing a lot. Sue me. Thanks for watching.